Forward! Forward! Forward!
Fall in.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Y'all know what it is. It's me, your boy Trey, and you're rocking with your favorite vets on the net. First Formation Morning Sports Talk. So come on and fall in with us as we get to talking about the top sports topics that have been going on in the last 24 hours. Catch up on some of the scores. So, the usual from what we've been doing the last couple of weeks. I greatly appreciate all this week and contributors to the military basketball scene. What we got more planned in the coming days as we look to tap into every facet in that after to get just a comprehensive conversation with everybody. So, of course, look for more to come for that as we look to get some more perspectives and just hear it. Of course, it's not about a bashing session or anything like that. It's just to hear some words, and because obviously is a deep definitive love for it, and people want to see a tremendous product. Not that you're saying the product is pretty good right now, but they want to see how we can get better. So there's more to come for that. But how's everyone doing out there? It's Friday. Some of y'all ain't got no jobs. You ain't nothing to do. How's it going down? For me, let's talk about some of this. These events that took care yesterday. Of course, we have the regular NBA season still going on as they look to get closer and closer to the playoffs. When it comes closer and closer to the NBA playoff season, it's close to the beginning of the March Madness tournament as teams look to start getting into the excuse me, I just some mic. As teams like to start getting into their conference championships to determine who is going to be representing their conference outright. Who's going to be representing their conference outright and getting automatic bids, and then the at-larges. So it's going down for that. You got XFL action going on. If you haven't been catching about that, USFL isn't too far behind. Spring is going on. Spring League is going on. So that means the MLB season is upon us once again. See who can knock off the Houston Astros as the current World Series champions. Women's, we see South Carolina went undefeated in the women's college basketball, and now they're looking to go ahead and do their damage in the postseason in the tournament so they can walk away with another championship. I know they cleaned up a lot of the SEC hardware at the end of the year. So shout out to Don Stelly and the South Carolina Gamecocks. I know those people in South Carolina are loving that. So plenty to engage and talk about. Let's get right to it as we tap into the basketball NBA because there's a lot to discuss in the NFL. The combine started off yesterday. And some interesting happenings there. Everyone says speed kills, and some of these guys definitely have it. But of course, a slate of 4 games yesterday. First, starting off with the Toronto Raptors were hosted by the Washington Wizards. As the Washington Wizards were victorious, winning 119-108 in that losing effort for the Toronto Raptors. They were led by the 26-point outing by OG Anunoby, scoring 26 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists, 14 points apiece from Fred VanVleet and Scotty Barnes. 23 points from Jacopato as he continues to. He's putting forth some pretty good numbers. Now that he's left San Antonio, he seems to be a little bit more at home in Toronto, where he had left originally. Dropping 23 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists. Pascal Siakam, 13 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist from Chris Boucher. But of course, like you said, it wasn't enough as the Wizards put forth their best effort. Kyle Kuzma gives them 35 and 5 on the night, 25, 5 points, 2 rebounds from Chris Porzingis, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists from Daniel Gafford. Brady Beal, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 assists, and 10 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist from Corey Kispert, just to name a few. As the Washington Wizards improved their standing 30 and 32 on the year, just 2 games below 500 in what is a tight race. The Toronto Raptors dropped to 31 and 33, 2 games below 500 themselves, in the tight race in the East and the West for the most part. Another game last night, the Dallas Mavericks hosted the Philadelphia 76ers in what's so for me, when I look at this, right, before I get into this, it's not surprising that the Dallas Mavericks are putting up, the Dallas Mavericks twosome of Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic are putting up points and scoring, right? What is interesting is that the fact of they keep doing it, but a lot of times it's in a losing effort. But fortunately for them on this day, it wasn't a losing effort as the Mavericks get the 133 to 126 dub over the 76ers. What's good, Cal? What's going on, brother? You came in just in time, I see. They get the dub over the 76ers. 76ers led by Joel Embiid's 35 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist on the night. 27 points, 4 rebounds, 13 assists from James Harden. Tyrese Maxey, 29 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. 12.7 rebounds, 6 assists from DeAnthony Melton. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, Tobias Harris. For the Mavericks, as I stated before, Luka Doncic with the double-double, 42 points, 4 rebounds, 12 assists, 40 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists for Kyrie Irving, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist from Reggie Bullock, 10 points, 2 rebounds, Christian Wood. It's all about the Mavericks, evidently. The weather is nice. And the coffee is on point here this morning. I figure you was happy this morning, Cal, to see what to speak your piece. Like is it a point to where now you see your Mavericks is finally tapping in, is going to get that? What's good, Brandon? Glad to have you with us this morning. He said a great game last night for the Mavericks 76ers. Mavs almost gave it away yet again. I'm very sure Coach Cal has a whole different aspect on that, Brandon. But like you said, they took care of business, got it done. Defense is still a problem. Won't sugarcoat it, which we know we asked. But like we talked about before, plenty of times, Luka puts out a tremendous output, huge shooting volume, and maybe that's his superpower. Offense is defense for Luka. Now you have Kyrie Irving, that cross court pass when he came around the corner and for Kyrie to knock down early in the first quarter. I was like, this look like it's going to be all day here, in which for the most part it was. Dallas taking care of business though, 33 and 31 on the year, 2 games above 500. He said Dwight Powell is the problem. Cuban needs to just pay him to seal whatever leverage he has on the organization. At this point, Cal, do you think that Kyrie would be there next year? What's good, Coach Richardson? How you doing this morning, sir? Glad to see you formation. At this point, do you believe that he's going to even Kyrie would be open to staying in Dallas at the end of the season? He's on his last year. Um, do you think he'll stay, or you think he's going to go go somewhere else? Like, what's the expectation at this point, Coach Cal, or anyone for the most part? But I know Cal, that's his squad. Uh, the way they shot the ball was crazy. Mavs do right at keeping at least half of the court at all times. At least 1 and 2 on the court. Well, they would think that, but they ain't got no bench, Brandon. So it's like a lot of teams where we see, in my opinion, just my personal opinion, Kyrie is out there in the summer. So in my personal opinion, when you look at it, take a look at it, it's like they are teams have been leveraging to pull in these talents. They did. I mean, it's obviously, of course, Dallas took a shot at a talent and brought it back, probably with the expectation that they're going to probably be able to sign him, seeing what that they would be able to do enough to keep one another's interest peaked, and then they're going to look at building from in the draft or via free agency once they have everyone locked in and going from there. But of course, now Kyrie is going to be a huge fish to pull in. Now, I would think. I don't think he's taking any discounts or anything like that. So it's going to be one of those situations. I just don't know where Kyrie. Well, of course, we don't know where Kyrie end up at this point. Blur the lines. I wanted to say he's done. He's gone to LA, but he shows signs every night that he's at peace here. He said Christian Woods retired on active duty. And which he might, but I mean, we talk about Kyrie, and not nothing bad against Kyrie whatsoever. But we're talking about Kyrie to where think about the things in which he said about being in Boston. You blink, he's in Brooklyn. The things he's talking about Brooklyn, although in the case of Brooklyn, he did basically. I think he tried to do that, and then in state, what happened is they wasn't trying to pay him any money, and he decided like, "Oh, I'm done. I'm going to get out of here," or he requested a trade. And opposed to all the hoopla and being surrounded by the team, they went ahead and got rid of him. And I think it's presumably, I wonder though, was he sent on packing due to the fact of they were already looking at getting rid of Kevin Durant? So they was like they're going to go ahead and get rid of him and see what they get already as much as they can, or did the fact that they traded away Kyrie ignite them the position for them to go ahead and move Kevin Durant once it was all said and done? And when you look at it, basically they moved Kevin Durant, uh, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, all within a year. Wow! And I'm sure at some point they're probably going to even do the same for Ben Simmons. I don't know if y'all believe that as well. But in the case of Kyrie staying in Dallas, I I don't know. I mean, of course, I would like to see him in LA. One run with LeBron, last run with LeBron before he gets up out of there. And then, of course, locks him in to be the next bridge to LA, whether it be him and AD or they bring Kyrie to LA. Showtime comes back with him. And then you have a D'Angelo Russell, Kyrie Irving connection. Go ahead and move AD. And bring back some hopefully some assets for AD as LeBron gets ready to walk out the door, and finish it off like that. And of course, just in true Laker fashion, bridge the gap between superstar to superstars and continue the legacy in which LA Mystique has. So I'm for that. But that's for what y'all saying, Brandon and Cal. Kyrie seems to be coming to peace with being in LA. I mean, being in Dallas, playing in the West for his first time for the most part. Of course, being in Boston and being in Boston and in Brooklyn, in Cleveland for the beginning of his career. Now he's finally out on the West Coast in Dallas. So we'll see, of course, coming on. So he never truly forgave them for the way they handled him during the anti-Semitic issues. The contract stipulations were the icing on the cake. Joe Tsai and Brooklyn were smart to cash on the two. I mean, definitely, I agree with you. I completely agree with you, Cal. It was very smart. It's business. Like back in the day when I used to play games, saying be a gamer, huge gamer, and play like the Madden stuff like that. If I went to try to if I went into the player management pool and a player talking about he wasn't going to stay and I was trying to sign him and he didn't stay, I didn't play around with it. I don't care who the player was. I went ahead and traded him. There's no time. Let me go ahead and get some assets for you now and keep it moving. So I know when we had conversations with the what ifs, if we on here before, where if you was a GM, what would you do? And I've always been seen as being shrewd in my what I do and don't have say it. I don't have loyalty. It's business at the end of the day, and most of the time, not to sound off center, but it's you need to take care of it before they take care of it for you. And so it was Joe Tsai and the organization, the Marks and them were quick on the trigger to go ahead and send them out the door with to bring something back. Because in the case of Kyrie, if they wouldn't have sent them on, they wouldn't have got anything back from him. He was going to walk away. They weren't planning on paying him. And they wasn't all this, like Coach Cal said, the stipulations. And then, of course, you look at the fact of how it went down and what the feelings was in state. Everyone was at the end of all that anti-Semitic stuff. It wasn't going to be a fit for Kyrie anyway. So they made that happen and went ahead and moved on from KD at the same time. When you look at the fact that KD was asking to be out earlier in the year. So it's like you have two superstars that are not happy and you don't want to bring on any you want to change the culture of your locker room and your and the culture of your organization. And right now they might be posing a threat to that. So let's go ahead and move them. See if we can make everybody happy in the case. Bring back some assets and see where we can go. They got younger on off. They got younger. It became a younger team. So and that's what you have now. They're probably not going to be in the playoffs by the end of this season, but they have an opportunity to fix it and come back next year. Jacques Vaughn completely gets to employ his system and his schemes to move forward with what he has and to help plan and ask for players and go after players that he think will fit his system. So it's going to be what it is. But what's the root cause of your superstars not being happy? And that's a good question, Brad, because it let them tell it was Steve. Steve was axed. Steve was sitting on his way. So I think it wasn't the coach. I think it really was the front office. I think it was the organization as a whole. It just wasn't as cheery. And then, of course, when you look at the situation with Joe Tsai, like think of it, fam. Like all the time, think about how many times you have, as an adolescent, you did whatever, and your mom or your parents got into your behind. And just for that slight bit of time, you was mad at your parents for getting in your behind. Whether you was good, whether good, bad, or different the reason, you was upset because your parents got into your behind, and you had to sit up and take that. You had a little, saying, you was in there talking stuff under your breath about moms, saying, popping you or whatever case like that. It's the same process, in my opinion, when it came down to Joe Tsai and Kyrie Irving. And then in this case, Kyrie basically held his ground. So Joe Tsai had to flex. In the case of Kyrie, he pulled with a flex move, and they showed that the team is a whole lot bigger than you are, and did what they had to do. In my opinion, it was an opportunity to, I ain't gonna say particularly to diminish, but it showed like you may be this huge talent. You may be polarizing as you believe, but they sent them on his merry way. In the case of LA, in the case of Kyrie, they relented to send him to LA because that's where he wanted to go. So, you know what I'm saying? Had he not wanted to go to LA, or it was so obvious that he wanted to go to LA, he would probably be in LA right now. Russell Westbrook probably would have been in Brooklyn and end up probably bought out maybe after that, or would have talked to Jock and saying they both was um, California homies. Um, Maybe Jock would have been like, "Yo, we you know saying no, we'll go ahead and keep you here. It's no call, since it's no telling." But the basically they showed the Brooklyn organization showed that we had the power at the end state, and which is, I know we still tend to go back, which we haven't really touched on per se. And when we talk about management, I mean the players uh being a dominant force in the NBA and stuff like that. But it's clear and concise that it's not. They ain't nowhere close to it. Um, you can't. You know what I'm saying? Just my opinion. They're not close to it. The players may feel like they have the power, but they truly don't. I mean, because two of the biggest stars in the NBA today was shipped off and went on, or even that, or there's nothing in being a franchise player in the NBA for the most part. Moving on, of course, we got two more games to talk about, to cover, to engage with. One, not so much engaging, the San Antonio Spurs hosted the Indiana Pacers in San Antonio last night. Buddy Hield led the field, 27 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 18 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists from Chris Duarte as he makes it appears. We ain't heard from him in a while. 14 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists from Miles Turner, 10 points apiece. TJ McConnell and Dorian Ora, 3 rebounds, 4 assists for Jordan. TJ 6 points. 10 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 7 points, 4 rebounds from Benedict Mathurin. George Hill contributed 7 points, 1 rebound. For the Spurs, 18 points apiece from Zach Collins, Devontae Graham, as well as Devin Vassell. 2 rebounds, 2 assists for Vassell, 6 rebounds, 4 assists for Graham, and Collins, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 22 points, 13 assists, 13 rebounds, 3 assists from Jeremy Sochan. Bates Diop with 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. 8 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist from Blake Wesley, and Charles Bassey with 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. As the San Antonio Spurs gets the dub, 110 to 99, 11 point deficit. At the end state of it all, it really doesn't. I guess you could say it doesn't make a difference. San Antonio 16 to 47. We can basically say they're done for the most part. It doesn't even matter if they went on a run at this point. They're not going to run back into the play-in unless every team just had a complete other debacle with 19 games remaining. However, the conversation is different for the Pacers as they're 28 and 36, and just on the back end of it, there's a possibility, as Coach Cal states, Indy is in the weird space. They're not exactly out to play in, but chances are slim. True enough, Coach, you're exactly right. I was just thinking the same thing as you was pushing your send button. At the same time, they have a 6th worst record in the NBA. It's very so. I think what it is, Coach, it looks like what San Antonio, and even I almost said Brooklyn, San Antonio and New Orleans looked like last year. They was like on the cusp, because definitely is different is in the West, but they was basically on the cusp in the West. And we was looking at, are they going to get in? As we look at the Lakers was playing, and even though the Lakers was holding on by a thin thread, they was like, but San Antonio made a surge late in the year and was able to secure a position in the first round of the play-in. But of course, got bounced out after that. Then so we see what happened with New Orleans. They was hot for a second. They took care of Phoenix, got them up out of there, or pushed Phoenix. Did they? Yeah. Then go from there. So it might be Indiana's turn for the most part. So we end up seeing how that turns out. Like I said, 28-36. San Antonio 16-47. not too not necessarily the best, but it works depending on what position you're in. And last but not least, from last night's games, he had the Golden State Warriors hosting the Los Angeles Clippers. Basically just going up the coastline to have their game. The Clippers led by Kawhi Leonard, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 16 points from Eric Gordon, Mason Plumlee, 12 points, 20 rebounds, 2 assists. 11 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists from Paul George. After that, it just kind of falls off. Russell Westbrook, 8.6 rebounds, 5.5 rebounds, corrections, 8.6 assists, 5 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists from Terrence Mann, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist from Mason Highland, 2 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist from Amir Coffey, 2 points, 2 rebounds, 1 from Norman Powell. For the Warriors, Jordan Poole drops 34, 4, and 30 and 3. Klay Thompson is on double-double, 19 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists. Jonathan Kuminga, the young phenom that they hoping they have, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 11 points apiece from Draymond Green and Kevin Looney. Draymond just 1 assist, 1 rebound short of a triple-double with 11, 9, and 9. Kevin Looney, 11, 8, and 1. Anthony Lamb, 5, 2, and 1. 4, 3, and 4 for Jeremy Jerome. And all this is being done without the services of Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, and of course their defensive stalwart and Gary Payton II. So when they come back, I wonder what that's going to look like. But until then, Golden State takes care of business, winning 115-91. Both teams above the 500 with Golden State 33-30, 3 games above 500. The Clippers sitting on the cusp 33-32. Interestingly enough, with since Russell Westbrook has been in a Los Angeles Clippers uniform, the Clippers are a dismal 0-4. What is that all about in y'all opinions? Is it just a mess thing, like we said, we talk about a lot, chemistry, or is it to say that is Russ not, or is it Russ now a bench player? Excuse me, has he been relegated to that, to where he's just dominant off the bench and he can't run anymore with the top dogs? Like, what is going on in Clippers land or in Russ's mind? Like, is the fact that he's being bounced around, living rent free in Russ's head? The Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. I keep telling you, Coach Richardson, that's what it's on. Them, Charlotte, like Coach was just saying, potentially Indiana. Like, they're playing to get, like, at this point, I don't know if y'all feel about this. If I was Indiana, I'm not too particularly worried about trying to get in to the play-in to basically go play against the likes of Boston and Milwaukee at this point. I'd rather sit up and put my hat in for the sweepstakes. PG-13 said, "Let me out of the car, though." He don't want to ride. He said he's not an alpha superstar. It's starting to get ugly over there, man. I'm very sure Kawhi is like, damn it, I should have went to the other side. I should have went to the other side of the hallway. They have no true point guard on the roster. So what's funny is, Coach Cal, they what's good, Frank? What's going on? With threefold, glad to have you. Cal is on one this morning, ain't he? So it's interesting, Coach Cal, is they initially stated that Russ is the real point guard in which they needed, and they got Russ. You got Bones Highland, you got Russell Westbrook. At this point, they should let Eric Gordon run the point, like a veteran, because it's like at this point, or maybe, like I said, maybe it's just chemistry. Maybe it's just a simple fact that they don't have that. They got a bunch of Cali cats that's their home and should be representing, and it's just not happening. Wow. Who would have thunk it? And to think that that was going to be a potent offense. But hell, we thought the same thing where we thought they was going to be potent when they had John Wall, him as a serving as a backup, and that didn't work out. It might be one of those things. And I think I can't remember who it was on here that talked about how basically Ty Lue is not who y'all think he is. And Ty Lue's expectation is that he was going to get the best out of Russell Westbrook, which, I mean, honestly, we're looking, it's only 65 games. So it's still 18 games remaining. We'll see. They got to figure it out, though. They're currently, let's take a look at these standings. Well, actually, first, before we get to the standings, a little comprehensive look at that. Tonight, a 10-game slate. You got the Charlotte Hornets hosting the Orlando Magic, as the Orlando Magic seem like they're making a surge and trying to crawl up in there. And I guess the game against the Hornets helps their efforts. The Atlanta Hawks, newly cemented coach Quinn Snyder, will be hosting the Portland Trail Blazers. I need the Hawks to win that. The Boston Celtics will go to the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets will come to Boston to take on the Celtics in the TD Garden. I just feel that the Nets are going to fall from grace. What's good, Key? Glad to have you information. What's good? Where you been at, homie? Russ plays the position, but he was never a true point guard. Okay, I got you, Coach Cal. He's not as such. He's an athlete creating plays. OKC, Russ had the Luka Harden usage rate, but believe he wasn't chasing stats. I may be wrong, but it didn't seem genuine. He's the Clippers' best option by default, for sure. I just think for me, Coach Cal, a lot of times when you look at this, I think we start to block in on superstars, or we see the superstars getting locked into certain teams and stuff like that. And so we build on that. We like, yeah. But in honesty, sometimes it's just, think about it, right? We didn't know who the hell Derek Fisher was. But you put Derek Fisher next to Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, and we had a great time. You flip that, and then you bring PG in with Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, and Karl Malone, and we get thrashed. Outside of the fact that, or even you go back, and we go back and think about it. I almost said Nick the Quick, but Nick the Quick was pretty good. But you go back to other instances like what who LA had: Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones. The only one I can't say is Smush Parker. But you know what I'm saying? But when you look at that type of stuff, there's been players that you don't have to have superstars everywhere. You just need someone that's going to go get it, and then you need some people that's going to come along with them. And in those instances, it works out. And I think those are some of the things of what you need. So I really think the whole Big Three era is overrated, because what has the Big Three era given for the most part? Teams have been beaten. The only time there has been where a super team has been created and it has been victorious and it has been above all just great, in my opinion, is the Golden State Warriors. That's it. And that was based on saying their chemistry. And I mean, KD came in, he just made it better because they was winning before KD got there. They won a couple while KD was there. Injuries, basically, it was the only thing that was able to knock them off for the most part. So I think the era of this, although this current Phoenix super team potentially it looks to be a problem coming, but when you look at it, the era of the super team, what team has just been dominant in that fact outside of Golden State? It really hasn't worked out for any other squad. It's the teams that have been put together in other ways has been helpful for the most part. And that's what I believe. You see what's going on in Boston. You see what's going on in Philly, Memphis. Correction, not Memphis. Memphis, my opinion. Denver. Those are teams that don't have a bunch of superstars. They have some good players. They have a standout star and some good players, and they're being effective. Let me see. Hold on. All right. Okay, I got you. Waller said we got to get a better paddle in the background. I hear you, fam. Matter of fact, I'll have to hit you up, bro. I was on the site the other day checking. We see what we can do. I need one of those. Actually, I need one of those paintings. I mean, those posters. That's what I need. I have a perfect idea for it. Cornelius Clippers playing like they want to get Ty Lue fired. Never seen so many lazy people on one team. Everyone thinks Ty was the man. Ty Lue was the man. Was a perfect man for the job. Russ gets the blame, but he is who he is. Clippers, true that. You right, Mookie. And like everyone, like in state is, I think, not to backtrack any statements, but I think in state is you have to let Russ live. That's just it. You have to let him live and live and die with him living. Like Russ is a bucket. He goes get it. You got to let him live. If you don't, I think if he's like a wild thoroughbred that you try to corral. He doesn't work well in the pen, but you let him outside that pen and let him get the driving and kicking. Yeah, exactly, Coach Cal. You let him do that, then he's going to be effective. If you try to get him, like you said, in a regular, I guess what Coach Cal was just saying, regular point guard, like Jason Kidd, he's not Jason Kidd. That's not who Russ is. And you're going to have issues. You got to let him generate and get better over time. Russ plays off of emotion. And you ain't nothing like an adrenaline rush after you done sit up and threw out a thunderous dunk and go back, you know what I'm saying, get down, up and down the court, take off, you know what I'm saying, zero in the end in 3.4 seconds. That's Russ. If you don't let Russ do that, then you got Russ. So, I mean, so definitely keep asking for Doc Rivers to be fired. Maybe they're one and the same person at this point because Doc hasn't been. Think about it. This is the same coach in our modern day in NBA that was traded to the Clippers from Boston. Although he was all right, I don't know why the Clippers wasn't victorious. Why Doc was there, Glenn was there, but I mean it came out, and of course he moved on to Philly. Russ game is driving and kicking. Kawhi is the mid-range. Not much room left for Norman Powell and Terrence Mann to operate. The role players have to knock down jumpers now. Russ is 3-12, but PG was 3 for 15 last night. And no one's like we saying Russ, but no one's like you said absolving PG or you know what I'm saying. But I mean, what do you expect? Playoff P. We gonna see how he get down if they even can still hold on to be in there. Emmy just chilling. So y'all want to bring in Emmy now? Emmy now, Key. That's what y'all want, and send Glenn on his way. Will that be what y'all? Is that what y'all really want? We don't want. We don't want Emmy in. Yeah, we'll take it. We don't want Emmy either. Unless you talk about going to the other one. Shoot, give me Sam Cassell. Sam, I am. At some point, he's probably gonna get it. You know what's interesting is hush hush. No one's really talking about Chauncey being up in Portland. Like none of that gets any burn over a case like that because of what all these other coaches and stuff is going on with the moving of Emi Aduka, uh, everyone else coming into their right. No one's talking about Chauncey Billups right now. At what point do we get to the Chauncey Billups conversation? Is Chauncey doing what he's got to do, what he needs to do in Portland? Is he doing enough to keep himself off the radar, or does it come down to a point to where everyone's gonna be like, "Yo, Chauncey, you not cutting it, bruh." Shooting 71, he's not. Yeah. So okay, yeah, Dane put up point. So, but Chauncey, I thought about it. I continue to think about it. I mean, Chauncey at this point has been in, I think Portland 1 or 2 years, 3 years almost, and there's nothing being said about Chauncey under the radar. under the radar. At some point, I guess people are gonna start locking in on him. Okay, I got you. Mookie. I got you. No power. So, like you said, we'll see conversations, I guess, to be had later on at the end of the season to see where's he at in Portland. Additionally, the Miami Heat will be hosting the New York hot streak in New York Knicks at this point. Jalen Bronson and Josh Hart taking care of business, teaming up again like they back in Villanova. And it seems to be working. I think if they've even undefeated or just lost one game since Josh Hart got into the fray. Of course, they paid Dame $120 million for 2 years. What kind of asses can you get when you're a small market team with scraps left in the bank? True that, but I think what they're going to do, they're going to probably move some of those people. I think they're going to wait and look and see what is available. And which is getting hard, man. Dame is getting older. And with Dame getting older, he's not going to be able to continue to play at the same type of he's not going to be able to play with the same type of intensity soon. They need to get somebody there to help him out. I mean, you got Simons. They brung Jeremy Grant there. I don't think that's working out as they anticipated. So now it's like what is going to happen in Portland or with Portland. Yeah, he is, Anthony. He really is, and he's going to stay loyal to it. He brung it up and said it, and I mean, I don't knock him for it, honestly. And I think the team is at this point remaining loyal to them. I think in-state, because of Dave's, because of his personality and then what he's done with the team, of him being there, I think in-state he's built enough of a rapport with the squad, with the team, and the management to be. If it ends up a situation to where they're going to have to let him go, they're going to let it be known like, dang, we're going to go ahead and cut you. Or I don't think it'll be any backstabbing. I think it'll be a conversation so he'll at least know, he'll be able to speak on it, and it goes from there. He said he wants to be like Giannis. So y'all actually believe, I mean, Giannis, we got to think Giannis young. Do you actually believe Giannis is going to remain in Milwaukee his whole career? You mean that's what we believe? Yes, the Bucks again. That's what I was talking about earlier, Keys. Probably before you tapped in, the Bucks has built the organization. The Bucks have built the organization. Like they're not. It's not a super team. They've got serviceable players, and then to bring on the back end of that, he might like Haslam. Oh my goodness! But when you look at it, the Bucks have done due diligence. They brought in players. They got Bobby Portis, who was being bounced around after putting hands on my man. He's no longer in the league now. He went back to his overseas. They brought in the Lopez brother, who has been bounced around. They brought in only big man superstars can command that much money in a small market and win. You can put cheaper role players around the big man. I got you, Coach Cal. Speaking facts, as well as Brogan, Joe Crowder. Finally, now you brought in Holiday. Now they're looking at potentially because I just want to tip my tongue. Goran Dragic has been bought out and has been waived by the Chicago Bulls, in which the expectation that he's going to be brought in to bolster their roster. You brought in the villain Grayson Allen. You got Pat Connaughton. Like Milwaukee is using players that could just play and putting them in the right position. Joe Ingles. So that's what they brought forth. Now you have that position. You have that in position. And it's not a bunch of all-star players. Giannis and potentially Chris Middleton. That's it. You got a all-star in Drew Holiday, but he's a different type of all-star. He does differently. So Philadelphia, Milwaukee has done exactly what they needed to do. What's the closest we saw? It took everything out of him to just get destroyed in LA. in the finals. Well, he was up against a whole lot. He wasn't coming out of that. I mean, he had Snow, McKee, like he wasn't coming out of that. It was unfortunate for AR. But so it's just exactly that. Another tune-up as a Suns will be hosted by the Chicago Bulls. We get to see still again, that's not the right matchup to see how effective the Suns will be. But Chicago, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and company, we get to see how that goes. The OKC Thunder will be hosting the Utah Jazz. The Golden State Warriors face off against the Pelicans as the Pelicans look to continue to try to get back on track. Golden State can continue to pad their record. The Denver Nuggets and the Memphis Grizzlies may be the game of the night. Mutombo was getting by Shaq. On paper, we thought the Bulls were legit in the East. Brandon, you ain't never lied, bro. You just, you know what I'm saying? But is it, do you think it's because of, or anyone to answer, of course, because I'm saying it to Brandon, though, potentially, it could be because Lonzo wasn't there. Do you think that was the glue that has basically came apart now when you look at it? Because Lonzo hasn't played in a year, 2 years, and he was supposed to be the engine that makes that vehicle go. Steph comes back Sunday. Yep, I think he's going to play against the Lakers. But we'll be without LeBron. AD and D'Angelo should be there, but probably without LeBron. What you think of KD's first start? We talked about that a little bit, and correct. It did. You're right, Brandon. It really did. That you got Caruso. They was balling at that point. DeMar DeRozan was showing that he's a true. He could be a potential MVP. Zach LaVine was coming back off his injury, and he was getting buckets, just as we always know. And then Lonzo Ball and Caruso were showing that they are effective, and it all fell apart. Caruso broke his arm, a tailbone or whatever like that. That took him out. Lonzo ended up going out, and then it was just left off. DeMar does what he usually do. He kind of like disappears late in the season or in the playoffs. Zach LaVine, he wasn't. He was still dealing with the injuries, so it definitely didn't go as planned. And he hasn't been there, and they haven't. I thought they had something in Kobe White or Demonsu, but of course that's probably something to get like. And then you have to take in consideration, right? Like everyone takes it. Let's take it for instance, the D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell came into the league young, of course, and it took time. Like the D'Angelo Russell that we see now wasn't the one we seen when LA first drafted him, and then he went from LA to Brooklyn, and then from Brooklyn to Golden State, and then from Brooklyn to Golden State, and then Golden State to back to Minnesota. It took time, and now you think he's more mature to where he's going to be effective. So we have to look and see, and maybe we'll be the same, or maybe there's a player out there that's going to do the same, or maybe it's going to be Kobe White or even Demonsu that are going to come into their own if given the opportunity. MJ's the greatest player had bad on him. So we'll see. It'll start to pan out, I think, at some point, but you gotta probably be patient for it. And unfortunately, some of those players are probably going to be gone just as it starts to come in fruition. Like I see, Pelicans and Warriors. Steph probably comes back not tonight, but Sunday. With him, actually, all three of them. Well, not three of them. Steph and Wiggins, I think, are expected to be back. Kobe White, undersized shooting guard, backup shooting guard at best. these GMs buy too much into these cats in college versus what. Okay, I see you, Coach Cal, and which I can understand. Like Kobe was doing his thing. What wasn't the best, but at Carolina, and like you said, the GMs buy into it. Clay stepping up. He is Anthony, and which well, I guess like he's supposed to. He has to reassert his dominance because that's another player I don't think is going to get to be in Golden State forever. I think he's actually out of all those players there, I think Clay will be the first one to go. I think a lot of people are looking at Draymond due to the fact that they didn't pick up his contract or extend him. I think potentially maybe Clay and Draymond are going to be gone. I don't know. I just think something's going. I think something's going on in Golden State, in which is going to the team is at some point is going to be broken up. Because now if Draymond goes, I think that's going to break up the whole thing, and now it's going to be they're going to probably move Draymond, Mooney. Well, I think they just signed Draymond and Clay. He is starting to coach. I think he's not back to what his usual is, but he's definitely right. He's starting to look comfortable, or the term which I'm using at peace now in his current position. But I think he's looking at. I think him and or Draymond are going to be up out of there soon. You don't need Green. You have no. So all this conversation y'all had, y'all have always stated that Green is needed. Green brings something different than Wiggins. Wiggins is more of a scorer, definitely. But you don't think I don't think Wiggins had the same tangibles in which Draymond does. But I could be wrong. It's just that's just from my perspective and point on it. He's not Draymond. I don't think you can. I mean, I think they can get away with it, but I don't think he's. It's just two different players, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Coach Cal said that they definitely need Green. You don't need him for the price he's asking for, though. And I can understand that, but he's valuable. In state he's very valuable. Yeah, exactly. So they're paying for something that doesn't necessarily show up on the court all the time, and that's one of the things you have to decide. They're already over the luxury tax, so it's like they have to decide keeping Draymond around at this price. Does it work? Is it sensible? Does it make sense? He stats the stuff. He stuffs the stat, but only to the aspect of maybe 7, 9, and 8, or every once in a while you might get a 12, 9, 9. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's like if he does other things outside of that, he constantly is on the other quarter. He's constantly engaging and bearing down on the team's top defenders and stuff like that. So it helps, you know what I'm saying? Having Draymond around, it helps, but he may not be what's needed in state. And like Coach Cal said, do you need to pay for that? They definitely have to see up and see, do they have to pay for that? In the case, it might not be what they want to pay for. Someone might pay for it, but I think if Draymond goes somewhere else, he's not the same Draymond. I could be wrong. Draymond I think we had the conversation before. Draymond is this era's Dennis Rodman, but not the same as Dennis Rodman. What's good, Bishop? What's going on, bro?
What's going on, man? WGO, man. What's good? What's good? I'm a little busy. Wife about to go out of town, so yeah. What's going on? How y'all living? I won't be going into luxury tax for Grant. I'll give Curry a little incentive to coach up another guy before I do that. I'd be sad to see him go, but yeah.
He said with the oat milk.
What's up? What's going on, Key? What's up, Anthony? Yeah, man. What's good? What's good? What you over here talking about these games? Them games
Yeah,
last.
yeah. Just got to finish talking about those and talk about the end. What's going on? The last 3 games that's scheduled to pop off tonight. Grizzlies and Nuggets, 1 versus 2. I wonder how that's going to go down. You know what? We ain't talked about that part yet. But so what do you think about these situations with these players and this trouble that's popping off? Ja Morant beating on 17-year-old kids and pulling guns allegedly.
I ain't hear nothing about that.
Oh, for real? Ja
Damn.
is wilding, man. You know what? I don't know. Because, supposedly Ja's homie, one of his boys from last month or a couple of months ago, was banned from the arena for a year because supposedly it was an altercation on the court with the team. I can't remember what team it was, and all of a sudden a laser came from a vehicle that was said to be belonging to Ja. A laser came from a vehicle into the player's bus that was sitting behind the arena,
like a red dot laser.
Yes, it's like it was Ja. It was like it was Ja's vehicle. They said Ja was in the vehicle, but they said Ja's man was for it, and he said Ja think he from the streets. And then what's crazy is that part, right? They said Ja for the streets, but someone went and pulled up, and they was like Ja is like Clarence off of 8th Mile. So it's like
act like he from the streets, but ain't really from the streets.
Yeah, he has 2 good parents. But supposedly it was alleged. It was said that Ja beat up a 17-year-old that was bumping his gums and pulled a gun out on him.
Oh wow. Really? I didn't hear that. And for that to that hadn't come up on nothing. I haven't heard that on anything. Like for that, if that's something like that, especially with a gun, that hasn't come up on no sports analyst show anywhere.
Yeah.
So where is this supposed to?
It's a legend.
Yesterday? Oh, like when did it happen? This past weekend?
There you go. Cal's talking about right now. Rumor was the kid checked the ball up too hard. Ja, shaking my head. The kid got to be a prospect to be brought into hoop. So, yeah, it's. So
it should be, if that's the case, it should be. I'm sure somebody got it on video somewhere because people keep video, so I'm sure it's gonna come up somewhere, and somebody gonna hit
his feet. So, but of course they face off against the Nuggets tonight. And then they talked about, because I checked out Bleacher Report the other day, and they was of course pointing out the fact that Ja was on the bench when Desmond Bain knocked down a corner 3, and then when he hit him, Ja was like blah blah, like act like he had to making the gun representation. So it's like, oh man, they wilding. But Ja,
I mean, a lot of people do that though. That's not normal.
Denver and Memphis. In Denver, I don't know if Grizzlies walk away with the W, but it should be the game of the night. The Sacramento Kings, hot streak in Sacramento Kings, will be hosting the Los Angeles Clippers, and then the Los Angeles Lakers will be facing off against the Minnesota Timberwolves as you get a chance for D'Angelo Russell to get back at the team that went ahead and pushed them on and traded them on. For the Lakers, as he should be coming back from his ankle injury just in time, hopefully, to help out, because currently I believe AD and LeBron is out. LeBron is going to be out 3 weeks with the tendon injury to his right foot, so he will be evaluated in 3 weeks. AD went out the game after that with a foot injury. I can't wait till he moves his ass.
Y'all need to move. Y'all need to move LeBron. That's who you need to move.
LeBron is business. That's business.
LeBron is
business.
Get out of here. It's business.
There you go with that soft stuff. We just had a whole week behind the soft stuff. And here you go bringing up the word soft.
He's soft. I said it. He's soft. I said it. He's soft. So I know Perkins is mad, but Joker might win it 4 or 5 times straight.
4 or 5, Cal? I don't know about 4 or 5. He definitely banging on 3.
So what's going to stop him from banging on 4 and 5? If he banging on 3, Who?
someone that
Who? It's the same
next
people in the
year?
league. Same people in
Next
the league
year?
who gonna it's the same people in the league who gonna stop him from it's the same people.
For
So
one,
who's gonna
let's keep it 100. KD been out a long time, was out
he has.
injury.
Yeah,
So
he has.
now he's
But
in
that's KD.
in Phoenix.
What was KD there the last two he won? Yes, he was.
Yes, but he was a front runner for this one until he went out.
Okay, but KD has been there. KD's my dude.
So I'll give Joker number 3. I mean, I think just clear and concise, number 3 is his, because I don't think it's going to be enough that anyone could do to take it away from him. Only thing that can help is if he gets injured and then they gotta run with the last 20 games. But a fourth one, nah, bro. Nah.
I don't understand why. That's just like you saying, nah, bro. The Bulls couldn't have won 8 in a row.
Bro. Not 2. Nah, bro. AD is so soft. Let me stay soft. See, exactly, Mookie. Like, don't say soft. Y'all already know what. Don't say soft. If you don't want,
Joker can get those numbers in his sleep and never always look good in the regular season. That part.
Yeah, Luka was a front runner before Jokic took over. Like, Joker came out of nowhere. Like, just the other night, he got his 100th triple double. Yeah, I think he's averaging a triple double currently in the season. So he's going to be the 3rd player in the league history to average the triple double, the 4th time in NBA history, because Russ did it back to back. So, but I don't know. I don't want to talk bad on the man. Maybe he can get a 4th one.
I know, maybe to it. He has the possibility. If he get this 3rd one, what's stopping him from getting the 4th or 5th? Injury.
You know what? I'm gonna say I don't foresee him getting a 4th. That's got to be it's not gonna happen. I don't think a 4th is gonna happen. Just like a 4th consecutive NBA championship wasn't gonna happen. You know what? I'm clear and concise. I don't give a damn. Jordan was not going to win. He wasn't even going to win 4 consecutive, let alone 8 consecutive. It's like we're saying
yes,
8. We're saying 8 because he already.
And then you got people. Then you got people saying he would have if he would have went with Phil to LA, he'd have probably won 11.
Nah.
Yeah, Jordan.
That conversation, that one is a little bit different because he brings. But Jordan in Chicago, he wasn't going to win. He might not have won that 4th one, let alone
again. Just like we talking about Joker, who was going to stop him? It's the same Houston. How was Houston going to stop him? Houston wasn't the same Houston the year after he left. It was the same Houston that was there when he won it the 3rd time.
After he left, Houston won the first year after he left. They won the second year after he left.
But it was the same Houston when he won it his third one. It's the same Houston.
Teams have to get better. I guarantee if I was to put up Houston's roster from that year and then look at it the next year, the roster, someone's different on the roster.
It ain't.
I'm very sure.
It's not like it's 5 or 6 different people.
I'm very sure it helped that Jordan wasn't there, but in state is Jordan. We're just jumping forth and saying Houston because Houston won the NBA championship that year, but Jordan had to go through a whole Eastern Conference to get back to that point. Would he have been able to do that? I know that's
done it 3 years in a row. He had done it 3 years in a row. What was stopping him from doing it again? He had done it 3 years in a row. What was physically stopping him? You say he had to go through the Eastern Conference again. What would have stopped him from doing it a 4th time?
You gonna cause us to do a whole show based on the
we can look at rosters. The fact of the matter is the Houston, because if you sit and think about it,
on Jordan Slong, man,
bro,
y'all Jordan sexuals,
bro, because it makes sense. If you think about it, how are you gonna sit here and say that? How are you gonna say he couldn't have won it the 4th one or the 5th one if he hadn't retired? How you gonna say that when he comes back 2 years later and wins 3 more? Olajuwon, none of them cats had left at that time. They were still there, and he comes back and wins 3 more. So why didn't Houston win those 3 when he came back?
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna say anything else on this topic. I'm gonna
This
go do my
2 years,
research.
bro.
I'm gonna go do my research, and I
Do
will
it.
come back. I will come back with
Do it.
definitive
Do it. Please
reasons
do.
on why. I'm going to do my research over that whole thing over the course
Thank
of
you.
those 8
Thank you,
years
Anthony.
or 10 years. I'm going to
Mookie.
do my research, and I'm going to sit up, and then I'll come back. I'm going to
Because
go get my credible.
if y'all listen to what Trey said, it don't even really make sense, bro. Michael left for 2 years.
Mhm.
Houston won those 2 years. When
Mhm.
Michael comes back, when he
It
comes
was even
back,
Houston though anymore. It was a whole different Western
so
Coast.
why wasn't it Houston then? Why didn't Houston? That's my whole point. You make my point valid though.
My point
If it-
is that it wasn't Houston at that point. It had moved on to another team,
So why
similar
didn't
to
that
what
team
it would have
beat?
been in Chicago. So that's
So
what
what
I'm
was that
saying.
team? Who was the team? Who was the team that Chicago beat on that third championship?
What was it? Was it Portland?
It wasn't Houston, right?
No, it wasn't Houston.
So that's my point. So
Or San
why
Antonio?
are they even in the conversation? Houston didn't even make it to the finals. Houston didn't make it to the finals. They had an opportunity to make it to the finals for the West, and they didn't. So how are they in the conversation of making it because they made it to the finals of the 2 years he was gone? Like they would have made a difference. Okay, they may have made it to the finals out west, like they did the 2 years Michael was gone. However, they still would have had to face Chicago, and they would not have beat Chicago. They couldn't come out the West when Michael was there. So what makes them think they would have got past Michael with him being there? Come on, man. That just don't even make sense, bro. If you look at the teams and put
I'm
both
looking them up
teams,
now.
look at the players, bro. Like Anthony said, MJ, Scotty, Rodman, Kukoc, Kerr. Like, come on, man. Who they had? They had, of course, Akeem. They had Dennis, Kenny Smith.
They beat
had
Phoenix in '93.
Exactly. Out the West. It wasn't even Houston.
Kevin Johnson and
Kevin Johnson, Charles Barkley, I think.
And Charles Barkley, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first three.
Like, bro, like seriously, like when you think about it, right, man, come on, man. Like, man, excuse me, they won 91, 92, and 93.
Mm-hmm.
And then they won 96.
They beat the Lakers in 91. They beat the Trailblazers in 92.
92, which
they beat the Suns in 93.
96 was who?
96 was they beat the Supersonics 42.
They beat
after that they beat the Jazz 42. And then they beat the Jazz again 43 or 42.
So Houston was only relevant on those 2 years. They was never relevant again. So you sitting here telling me the 2 years when it so happens the 2 years Mikey was gone. Go ahead.
I was about to say no. Go ahead. I was about to say something, but no, I'm not going to say that because it wasn't going to even make any sense of what I was about to say. But go ahead. I had to catch. I'm glad I caught myself. This is the nick of time.
The 2 years that Michael left, that's when Houston was even relevant in regards to making it to the finals. And if Houston, who did Houston play in the finals that year? Them 2 years, Houston played. Who did Houston play that year? Those 2 years, they played. Who they play?
Let me see.
They played the. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you. Oh, man, I can't see.
They played
Boston. Was it Boston? No, it wasn't Boston. Was it Boston? Ooh, it is bright over here today. I can't see nothing. They beat in 94. Orlando. They beat the Knicks. They beat the Knicks in 94.
What's good, Dylan? And they beat Orlando.
Jazz. Was it in the playoffs? The
yeah,
Rockets faced the
it was the year they played. The year that Orlando beat Chicago when Jordan came back that year.
They beat who?
They beat Orlando.
The second year, the 95 season?
95. That's the year Jordan came back. They beat Orlando in that's Orlando beat the Bulls for the Eastern Conference Championship.
Because that's when Grant Hill, I mean not Grant Hill, but Horace Grant was over in Orlando.
Yeah, and then Houston
What's good, Dylan?
And then Houston ended up winning, sweeping Orlando.
Oh yeah,
that was a young Shaq. Yeah,
right, young Shaq. Yeah, a young Shaq.
So even then, you know what? Okay, like I said, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do my research.
So Shaq had his chance too.
If my research, Shaq got some. He got
he had his chance against Michael too, and came up short. He did.
He knocked Michael off.
In that year, that very first year, Mike came back.
We can't.
But they didn't win. They didn't win.
No, they didn't win a championship. But he had the first swing at Mike, and he took him out.
He did. Mike didn't play. Did Mike? I don't even think Mike played that full season though. So part of that Lamar Jackson to the Washington is what? So Schefter reports on Pardon My Take podcast that Lamar Jackson to Washington is happening. The whole ordeal has how this went down is weird, but 100% recommend watching the podcast where he says with confidence that it's happening and he reads a text. Oh. No.
If that happens,
we do not want that. God, no.
It's weapons in Washington.
Hell no, man.
You know what's funny? Even this morning, I checked Darius Slay. He put out his top 5 receivers that he had the hardest time facing, or his top 5 receivers. And Terry McLaurin was one of them at number 3.
Okay. That ain't saying much.
That's saying a lot.
That is not.
Yeah, look at Key. Terry was one of them. Terry McLaurin was but now what does that mean? It means a lot because now if you put that was with Taylor Heineke or Carson Wentz. Now you put Lamar Jackson in there who can get outside the pocket and make moves and get around. Come on, bro. That's a whole different vibe there. That's scary. He just became scarier. But I see he was number 3. Number 3 was Terry McLaurin. Number 2 was CeeDee Lamb, and number 1 was
that is a scare, Dylan.
Justin Jefferson.
I said that the other day when we just talked about Lamar going to Washington because we knew Washington was in need of a quarterback because they released Carson, and so I had said that. I said that's something we do not want.
Dylan's a Eagle fan.
Oh. Yes, sir. And I like it. Good. Hey, me and Dylan can get down any day, bro. I like it. Yes, sir. But I knew, and
I started to ask you. You know what? Yesterday someone said it was Lou. Lou said he asked Colton if he respect winning that game the way he won.
Is Colton a San Francisco fan?
No, I'm talking about when Colton won. Talk about Colton winning the classic, the Capital Classic. So he's like, so you respect that? And instantly I thought to myself, yes, he probably. I mean, yeah, Bishop, just like Bishop respects the win that they got. That's what went through my head. But I didn't want to say it because we is in a whole different vibe. But I was like, yep, just like Bishop respects the win the Eagles got.
Why wouldn't I respect it? Anybody would respect that.
No, I wouldn't have respected that.
Well, of course, anybody outside of 49er fans, bro. Every fan base got some goofies. I'm a fan of the game first and foremost. We ain't all bad. Exactly, and that's me. I'm a fan of the game too. Don't get me wrong. But Dylan, do you hear what this guy right here has just said? Do you not accept the win that we got over San Francisco? And I want to hear it from you, Dylan. Do you not accept the win that we got over San Francisco? Because if you ask this guy here, we shouldn't accept that win because of the fact
first and foremost, I don't dispute the win. Y'all taking the win. Like, yeah, you want to take the win, especially if you're a fan. You're going to take the win, but do you respect the manner and how it happened due to how the lead up was?
Please,
That's
Dylan,
what I'm saying.
Please, Dylan, answer that for us, because Trey, we can't help the fact that Brock got hurt. Thank you. And they keep this is the thing, Key. He keeps saying about the thing about Brock getting hurt, about the backup this, the backup that. He fails to mention. He acts like Jalen Hurts was 100%. Jalen was not 100%. He was not. So it was an even playing field.
It wasn't an even playing field.
How in the world can you sit here and say that, Trey?
Y'all had home
we had what?
Home cooking.
How? Who fault is that? Who fault is that? We had home cooking.
We tried. Don't get it twisted. We tried.
No, but who fault is it?
We was 3 and 4. We was 3 and 4.
100% laughing at motherfuckers praise party.
See, that's where it goes.
Thank you.
That's where it goes. That's where it goes. See,
thank you. We have a dominant pass. And that's the thing, Dylan. I told Trey before the game. I said y'all finna have problems. I said, Riddick is gonna be in his face. I told him that.
The only person that was, I'm not going to even say was a problem, but he did was for Brock was Riddick once he stood up and got, but that was it was in the first quarter. Like he never got a chance to get settled. It happened in the first quarter and then he was done. So all I'm saying is,
though, you act like that's new news. I told you.
For the billing that it was stated or what it was, it didn't live up to the billing. Like I hate the fact that everyone tried to say that, the 49ers, let's be real. Brock Purdy did a great and exceptional job. He was our third string quarterback. The injury happened at the most inopportune time where we didn't have anyone in place except for a quarterback that was on the practice squad. It had to be brung up, and he wasn't ready either. All I'm saying is that like the respect, it wasn't a respectable win. And if it was on the opposite side of the spectrum, I would say the same thing.
Thank you, Dylan. It will be different. He didn't come in the game hurt like Hurts did. Hurts was not 100%.
Y'all not going to continue to try to say that? Okay.
Hurts was not.
Is that why y'all lost the Super Bowl?
No, you didn't hear me make any excuses on that.
I'm just asking. Is that how y'all lost the Super Bowl? Because he wasn't. He
did his thing. He had 3 touchdowns. What do you want him to do? He did all his
rushing touchdowns and 1 passing touchdown.
That's right, but he had 3 touchdowns.
In which now they finna get rid of that thing. Well, because they say because they figure it's been cheating anyway. But go ahead.
Whatever, man, get out of here. Anywho, thank you, Dylan. He didn't come in the game hurt. Brock Purdy didn't come to that game hurt. He got hurt in the game. So, like I said, Jalen still was not 100%. You seen that prior to. You saw that in the game before. Yes, you did. He didn't. Did
y'all or do y'all not win the game before that convincingly?
Not by him throwing the ball. We didn't. Not by him throwing the ball. We did not. No, we did not. He had them last 3 games in which he played. You could tell it wasn't the Jalen Hurts that we've had all season. Because he was throwing passes just like he was throwing touchdowns. He think he had 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games, including the Super Bowl.
So what you're telling
compared to 6 rushing touchdowns that he had, or 7 rushing touchdowns he had in the last 3 games. That ain't Jalen Hurts. Everybody knows that.
So what you're telling me is that's why he threw the ball.
Part, Key. That's why we lost. That part, Key. That's why we lost the game. That right there, what Key just said right there. Didn't come play the Super Bowl. We didn't put no pressure on Patrick Mahomes whatsoever.
Don't worry. We play again next year. Next year's a whole nother year. We will see. See, that's the difference with us and y'all. I told the Super Bowl. Took Super Bowl 50 on the chin. On the chin, 0 excuses. We lost that bowl because Andy Reid, on the greatest coach of all times.
Outcoached the shit. He did. He absolutely did. He absolutely did.
You know what? I hold judgment on that. During that one, yes, maybe. But did Andy Reid? Was it Andy Reid or was it Eric Bieniemy, who is now the OC with Rivera? Did he outcoach or was it Andy Reid? Why do you think it was Andy Reid?
Andy Reid is the head coach. Eric Bieniemy is not doing anything that Andy Reid doesn't know. He's not doing anything when it's all said and done. Yes, he may call, but Andy Reid knows everything that's going on. They have a game plan going into that game. Hey, Andy, check this out. This is my plan. Well, I know we got Jalen, but I think we can counter this, counter that. We can do this. We gonna see. We will.
Because now there's no enemy.
This is the thing.
Even though Nagy's back.
Andy done proved it. Andy Reid done proved himself. He done been to what is his fourth Super Bowl? He done been to and won two.
Well, we always said that Andy Reid is a good coach, but I'm saying has it been Andy Reid? That's no different than what we talked about. We're gonna see how good San Francisco is because DeMeco Ryan's gone now. Odu had gone now. We got a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator, so we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it go down. If it's Kyle,
y'all biggest thing is gonna see. We're gonna see because y'all quarterback controversy.
We good.
That's gonna yeah. We gonna see how good. We gonna see. Like you said, we gonna see. We gonna see. We gonna see.
We are A-okay.
Okay, it breathes well. We gonna see when the time comes. We gonna see. See who's gonna start, Purdy, or is it gonna be old Lance?
It's gonna be neither one.
Then who is gonna be?
Shady is the enemy. Don't do. Shady said he doesn't. I don't know how true it is, but bro said he don't call plays, control the part of the pass games, etc. Andy Reid pushing Bill
as the goal. Keeping it one of facts.
Okay.
Facts.
So of course, last and foremost, the Lakers will be hosting.
We don't have problems.
Tonight.
We don't have problems this offseason. We just got a lot of free agents. And we got to make
those are problems.
That's not a problem. That's the decisions. Those are decisions we need to make. Those are not problems. Those are decisions we need to make. If that's the case, y'all got a problem with the quarterback? Do y'all have a quarterback problem?
Yeah.
No, y'all have a quarterback problem or a decision?
We have a problem at quarterback because it's not the decision.
Bro,
we have a problem. The reason I say we have a problem. The reason I say we have a problem.
Anthony and Key. Any other time I've sat here and said y'all got a quarterback problem over there, first thing out of Trey's mouth is no, we ain't got a problem. We ain't got.
I said we're good, but the legit is a quarterback problem because you have Brock Purdy, who was supposed to have surgery 2 weeks ago. He didn't have surgery because he had swelling in his elbow still, so it stopped him from having surgery, which pushes his recovery into the season. So you don't have Brock Purdy. You want Trey Lance anyway. So how does that even matter? You said Trey Lance is going to be your starter anyway. We have Trey Lance, who's coming back from a broken foot, who is throwing, but part of the reason we got Trey Lance is his ability to be mobile. We don't have that in the person who has a broken foot. So there's a problem. We don't have decisions. The only decision they have to make is which they do it. John Lynch stated while he was at the combine, he stated that they're going to take a look at going to take a look at the market for a backup quarterback. He even said he's not against bringing back Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh my God. These cats here, bro. Y'all, you right. Y'all got a problem. Y'all don't know what the hell y'all want to do. Y'all have no. First it was Jimmy. There's no Jimmy's gone. I can't see. There's no. Didn't he just say about 2 weeks ago there's no situation in which would bring Jimmy back? Now he's recanting that.
He got to.
But that's dumb.
That's not dumb.
That is very dumb.
Why is that dumb?
Because you just sat there and said you as a coach said there was no situation. That means
none.
Jimmy
Garoppolo comes back. But
there's no situation.
The coach don't make player moves. The GM does, and the GM said they are open. They're not closing off bringing Jimmy Garoppolo back. That's
the problem. Because if your coach and your general manager ain't on the same sheet of music, that's a problem.
It was 2 weeks ago. It's different than 2 weeks.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Again, when it's all said and done, Trey, I said that before. Y'all sitting here saying, "Oh, there's no situation that's going to make us bring Jimmy back," but obviously there is one, because I said, I even think, if I'm not mistaken, I even mentioned, what if both of y'all quarterbacks is broke again, and y'all gonna just let Jimmy go?
No, it makes sense. In my opinion, they should let Jimmy go because there's been too much that has happened in a sense. But on the opposite side of the spectrum, it makes sense to keep Jimmy there. He's the most proven quarterback that they had. Like, we can't diminish the fact that he took them to 2 Super Bowls.
I got that, but you said, Trey, there's no way Jimmy could stay there with Trey there. Trey is the new quarterback for the 49ers.
But Trey, yes, but Trey, what has been revealed is that Trey Lance is probably not ready, and it's not.
He's not ready.
Yeah, that's what.
How is he probably not ready?
His injury.
Trey, did I not say that, Trey? I said that when y'all said he wasn't ready for the Super Bowl. I said, Trey, he probably. So what's going to make him ready? How do y'all know he's not ready and the season just ended? How do y'all know he's not ready? That just doesn't make sense. Go ahead.
They said he's looking good throwing, but his throwing wasn't. Yeah, exactly. He had a setback. So both of our quarterbacks have injury setbacks. So now we have to say
that in the first place, though. I said, what if both of them stay? What if both of them are still broke? Why would y'all get rid of Jimmy? That was my whole thing.
I said they were going to get rid of Jimmy.
Jimmy is the most healthiest one out of all of them.
He is. But due to the contract that they had, Jimmy was guaranteed to be a free agent this year. Now, that does not absolve the 49ers from re-signing him. But it's like you could have had him. You already had him in the fray. Like it's not like Jimmy has to come back. It's his option to come back. So how are they going to? They just tried to omit paying this man $26 million because they had their quarterbacks. Now he's a free agent. What do you think he's going to sign for? At the minimum, he's going to push $30 million to $35 million at minimum. He ain't going. So you know what I'm saying? Probably. So most likely so. Why would they bring him back when you still have? I mean, you have a contract that's friendly for Trey Lance because he's a rookie, and if he has an in-state, Trey Lance becomes a backup, he's been. But it's like but basically you wasted our picks for a backup. He's Jordan Love at this point.
My point, which I brought up again, because you said the whole thing is we paid Trey too much money to be a backup quarterback sitting on the bench. That was my whole thing when we talked about Jimmy, Purdy, and Trey. That's why you we got to get rid of Jimmy because we paid too much for Trey Lance to be on the bench.
They're making a way for Trey Lance.
But now because of the situation, I was like, I said, Trey, that just don't. I said, y'all talking about letting Jimmy go. And at the time, even going into the Super Bowl, Jimmy was y'all most healthiest quarterback. Well, not healthy because Purdy hadn't got hurt yet. Purdy hadn't got hurt. But he was healthier. But he was healthier than fucking Trey. He was healthier than Trey did was though.
Yeah, because Jimmy recovered from but they said he hadn't cleared. They didn't clear him.
He didn't clear. Right. They was talking about he was gonna play. They was looking at him playing, but he hadn't cleared. Yeah, right. He didn't clear. If y'all ever looking to join and will come holler at me, I fuck with y'all. $50,000 strong first 6 months. So sit on it. No. Appreciate you, Dylan. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. But this is the thing. So I hear what you're saying. You saying Trey. You saying you personally feel like. But then this don't make sense to me, Trey. You personally say y'all should get rid of Jimmy, but you just said both of y'all quarterbacks are right now suspect and because of injury. So if you get rid of Jimmy, who are you going into training camp with? With two hurt quarterbacks.
Have you seen who's out there when it comes down to
I know y'all ain't talking about drafting another quarterback when y'all just 2 years removed from grabbing Trey. I know that. I know you ain't saying that. Especially when you ain't got a first. Especially when you ain't got a first. Or you talking about
quarterbacks? The quarterback market. Yes.
Free agents.
Marcus Mariota, Terry Bridgewater, Jacob Brissett, Taylor Heineke, Cooper Rush, Gardner Minshew, Case Keenum, Andy Dalton, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Carson Wentz. Now,
and Lamar Jackson.
Well, Lamar's not a free agent; he's going to be traded. But all those, some of those are serviceable.
And out of them, which one are you with? Out of them,
who would I want?
Mm-hmm. I know you ain't pick Carson. Pick Carson. Go ahead and say Carson.
No, hell no. I don't even. I told you every time I look at Trey now, I see Carson. As I look at Carson Wentz and I see him, the harder I look, I see Trey Lance turning into Carson Wentz. I see Wentz turning into Trey Lance. So it's like out of that, Teddy Bridgewater, even Jacob Brissett, Tyler Heineke, or Sam Darnold, maybe even Baker Mayfield. But that's like
them
that.
five out of them. So those
Them
are the
five,
five
I
that
would
you
be
would
cool.
you would
I
think
would
you would
yes,
be
I
cool
would.
with. Okay.
I would be cool with
Anthony
them
Price
five.
said, "I knew you wanted Wentz." And he said, "I knew you wanted Wentz." I know that's right. All
Dylan,
San
stop
Fran,
it.
all San Fran need is a game manager. Y'all could go back to the NFC Championship with Carson Wentz. I ain't even tripping. Go get your boy.
Get out here, ain't one cat you just named.
Bro, get out of here. Ain't no one cat you just named on Carson's level. Facts. Straight facts.
What y'all is buggy and ain't no way. Like I said, I just see every time I look and I see that one where he's there with that jacket on, he's smiling, and as I look, the more if I start to squint, I look and I start seeing
Starting to look like so his hair turning red.
Like, man, get the hell out of here, man. Damn, bro.
So basically,
I wish you would have drafted Justin Fields, man. I really do.
Because y'all passed on him. Y'all had an opportunity and y'all let him get away. Y'all chose Trey. So, in other words, this man just said, Samuel, don't. So you're saying get rid of Garoppolo and try the market for those free agent quarterbacks right now is basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
In hopes that whoever you choose can stand fast long enough for either Trey to come back or Purdy is what you're saying, basically.
I mean, at that point a competition. But you know what I'm saying? That's just to say, you know what I'm saying, those are quarterbacks. I choose them quarterbacks on the simple fact of it's not going to break the bank to bring them in. And you know what I'm saying, expectation is there'll be a quarterback. But Brock is close to damn near Tommy John surgery. There might not be no coming back from that, unfortunately. So it's like, okay, so you have that. So Trey Lance has been Trey Lance, in which we don't know what the hell Trey Lance is going to be. And you know what I'm saying? And I know what Carson Wentz was, and you know what I'm saying, and the end state is Trey Lance played for the same university.
What up, Zach?
It only played 1 year, technically, but San Francisco's seen something in him. You got to believe in the coach is saying that, but there's nothing wrong with getting safety valves, and that's what I'm looking at now. Like,
but let me out of all them quarterbacks you just named, right? That you said that is on the free agent market. You mean to tell me Jimmy is not better than every single one of them?
No, Jimmy is. I would take Jimmy over that, but
so why not just stick with Jimmy?
It's like the same thing we was talking about earlier. The same thing we was talking about earlier when referencing the NBA. Why didn't Brooklyn keep KD?
They couldn't. Because we know last year he already wanted out last year.
No, KD wanted out at the beginning of this year, but he wasn't going to go anywhere.
Well, I'm saying last year as far as the year is concerned.
Yeah,
I'm
the only
talking
person that was able to leave was
saying,
Kyrie because he was going to be a free agent regardless. They didn't have to sign him. But basically, it had come to a boiling point to where KD had just came in the beginning of the year, said he wanted out, a flex, couldn't happen. And then you sit up and trade Kyrie away because Kyrie said he wants out. You're not signing Kyrie, obviously. So you're going to go ahead and get something for Kyrie while you can. And then you look down the line and be like, KD is going to be angry and disgruntled. We might as well
because
we might as well get
Ben Simmons and ain't got nobody to help him. But
so that's the same thing with Jimmy Garoppolo. He wanted out. He wants out.
I got that, but he has weapons. He has. If I'm Jimmy G and I'm thinking like Jimmy G, I'm thinking, man, why leave? I'm in a system that I know. Even though y'all getting a new OC in DC, I get it, but I'm still in a system that I know. It may not be a great deal of changes. I'm kind of comfortable where I'm at. We just picked up CMC. We made it to the NFC Championship game. I still got Debo. I still got I still got Kittles. Like he's in a win-win situation. Jimmy G is, mind you, get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. Money plays a factor, but when it's all said and done, he has been to the Super Bowl twice with this team, and now this team has improved since he's been to the Super Bowl twice.
Well, he's been
why would you leave?
Conference championships. I say he's been once, but he's been to 2 conference championships.
Right. Plus, why would you leave why would you leave? Even though why would you leave if it ain't for the money purposes? Why would you leave when you have your best chance where you are currently? Because you don't know where you may end up at. You may end up in a Washington. You may not saying Washington won't, because there's some weapons over there too. Don't get me wrong, but you may end up in a Washington. You may end up in a Vegas. You may end up in a good situation or in a bad situation. But right now, currently where you currently stand right now, Jimmy, you're in a win-win situation. You got one of the best defenses, ranked the best defenses in the league, and you got a high-powered offense. Why would you leave? There's no reason to. There's no reason. When your resume shows that you can do it, you've done it with less, and now you've gotten better. That's just my take on it.
It's too far gone. That's like, you know what?
What up, Freddie?
Let me put it in simple terms. It's like you're in a process of on the outs with your significant other, and now you're like, okay, well, this could be what's good, Freddie. What's going on, bro? It's like then you come back and you're like, hey, babe, I think we can make this work. Whereas some of the same stuff, at some point you're like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and head out now. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason we've been through this over and over again.
What up, Lassane? So you saying you don't think you think the bridge has been burnt, basically? It can't be mended back.
I don't think it's been burnt, but I think it's just like too far gone and stuff like that. Like it's like you're playing hokey pokey. It's like they're in, you're out between both the organization and the quarterback. It's like he's in, he's out. You know what I'm saying? He played.
You're the general manager.
Jimmy had the ultimate.
What's more, Trey? You're the general manager for the San Francisco 49ers.
You know I'm very shrewd, so you
and that's why I'm about to ask you, Trey. You're the general manager for the San Francisco 49ers. You got two young quarterbacks. You got Trey Lance and you have Brock Purdy. Both of them are good quarterbacks. You know what they can bring to the table. You picked one in the draft. You picked one way late in the draft. Then you have Jimmy Garoppolo, who's done successful things for you in San Francisco by getting you to the NFC Championship as well as getting you to a Super Bowl. The two quarterbacks that you have favored right now are both hurt. Don't know if one could come back from the surgery.
He's had Tommy John, but he's
Tommy John surgery. And your number one pick, who you paid a great deal of money for, is not quite recovering the way he should be. However, you do have a healthy Jimmy Garoppolo. What's more important to you? To win a Super Bowl or to have a future in the quarterback position?
To have a future in the quarterback position.
Ooh-wee. Somebody posted. Where was it at? Somebody posted. Where's my phone? Somebody posted. You know who it was? I'm gonna tell you who it was. It was our own frat brother. Absolute. He posted on Facebook. What was it? He posted. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it on here. And I'm gonna let you see what he said. And then I want you to really, Trey, really rethink that, bro. I really want you to rethink that because I feel like you saying that because you just want to be ornery. I really do.
So while you look for that, this is my reason behind my statement. Because the ideal is the Super Bowl is what's now. I don't need what's now. I try to be me personally as an individual. I try to look forward in front of me, see what's out in front of me.
Absolute real name, Kevin Smith.
So
Smith, that's what I thought.
Yeah. So when I try to look out to what's in front of me, having success at the quarterback position future potentially brings me that in which I'm seeking in getting the Super Bowl now. I don't need what's now. I need to be able to set this organization up for the future. And ultimately, that's Trey, what happens. That's why I say that.
They would be coming for your head, Trey. All these San Francisco 49er fans will be coming for your head because I need you to look at this. Or is that right? Maybe I'm looking at the wrong one. This is the thing, right? It's been that long. Like people want now results. Don't get me wrong. When it's all said and done, we get the fact that you are looking at where's my thing at, bro? we get the fact that you are looking toward to the future for the franchise. However, people want now results. When it's all said and done, people want San Francisco just like we want Philadelphia to win Super Bowls now. Yes, do we care about the future? Absolutely, we do. But if we can trade in what we can get now, let's get it. Let's get it. Especially if you're in a position in which you're in, which I gave you all the scenarios.
I'm still looking forward to be our friend. Because my expectation is
the future is not promised though, Trey.
True, it's not, but the future is what we can't see. So what's guaranteed is, and me.
With that being said, keep that in mind now. Future is what you can't see. Okay, go ahead.
You can't see, but you can build towards that. What happens is if I sit up and I look at it, if I'm looking at, okay, we're going to go with keeping this person in the fray because he gives us the best chance to win from what we know, because we know that's not what everything has been built on. No one knew Jalen Hurts was going to do who the person that he is now. No one knew Patrick Mahomes is going to be the person that he is now. It was you seen him, you grabbed him based on the fact that you think that's what possibly happened, and it happened. So that's where you have it at. Because y'all had Carson Wentz. Y'all could have kept Carson Wentz, but why did you get rid of Carson Wentz?
Because we knew there was no future in him.
You seen there was no future in him. So that's why y'all basically dispatched from him.
Let me ask you this then. Did y'all pick up CMC because of now? Or did y'all pick up CMC for the future? No, y'all didn't. Trey, no, you did not.
Future. CMC is the future.
All y'all
based on the defense, the offense that they run, the offense of the West Coast offense.
No, you did not.
Christian McCaffrey was the best.
Not a future. Was not.
Who's the best? Bro. Who's the best running back out there? Who's the best running back out there? Oh, that's who's the best? Who's the best all-purpose running back in the NFL?
It could be questionable. It'd probably be out of the hand.
It's either McCaffrey or Kamara.
Or Kamara. Yeah, I was about to say Kamara.
It's McCaffrey or Kamara. In my opinion. Yeah, I get that. Or even maybe we could throw in Mixon too. Those are the best. Those are the best.
All-purpose
backs out there. Facts. The only one in which we could get our hand on because we needed the back was Christian McCaffrey. Situations wasn't going right in Carolina. And so we made the move to sit up and get McCaffrey.
But you gonna sit here and tell me that you did not feel
it wasn't for now. No, it was for the future.
Trey, you are not gonna tell me that late in the season that you're looking at a future with Christian McCaffrey, especially being with the injury in which he was having.
San Francisco is a running back by committee organization. Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell, and now we have McHastings that's on. So it's a running back by committee organization. But your front runner in that in that running back by committee is pretty damn good from an all-purpose standpoint, and that it makes sense to go get him.
Anthony Price for your to answer that question, it was for now. It was for now.
No, it was for the future because they signed them they extended them as well.
AJ, but mind you, listen to what I'm saying. We had a huge problem with drop balls in Philadelphia. Yeah, so we needed a sure hand receiver outside of Smith, and to take some of the pressure off Smith because Smith was the only guy who was consistent in catching the ball prior to AJ getting there. So we knew if we could.
And what's funny is Smith drops a lot of balls. Now.
No, he don't.
Okay.
He does not drop. How? What? No.
Okay.
He does not drop a lot of balls, bro. I don't know where you got that.
I mean, he don't. It's not like he dropped the balls like that, but if I remember, he dropped a touchdown in the Super Bowl. He dropped the ball in the beginning of the second, but he dropped a couple of balls in the NFC Championship game, but one of them he got away with. So it's like.
All receivers drop balls now. That's the thing.
But he's not as short-handed as what you're talking about. That's what I'm saying. AJ Brown is a little more short-handed.
No, they're about the same.
Like I don't even know how Devontae won the damn Heisman. That still escapes me. But I mean, was he like?
Did you see what he did in college? Really?
He was a better player that year.
Did you see what he did in the national championship game?
What you're telling, but he already won the award before the national championship game.
But I'm saying it solidified it though. It solidified it.
Who was he up against that year anyway?
It's solidified of what. Ooh,
Devontae.
Back with the GOAT.
Nah, he's not gonna go. I think he would go to Las Vegas before he goes anywhere.
The GOAT? He gonna go back to the GOAT? But I'm saying AJ Brown. I believe we got AJ Brown because we needed him for now, especially with a young quarterback in Jalen Hurts to help build his confidence, as well as with the tandem of Devontae Smith and then Zach Ertz, stuff like that. Man, I think not Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert. I'm sorry, Zach Ertz left. Dallas Goedert. He had 5 drops this year, bro. There it is. He had 5 drops. I don't know where you got that Devontae Smith dropped balls, bro. I don't know where you got that from.
I said he dropped balls in. I said he
no,
was
you
in
said.
shorthand. I said he was in shorthand as you were saying in the national NFC conference game and the Super Bowl.
No, that is not what you said, Trey.
That is what I said.
No, you said he's not as sure as you make him out to be. And I was like, no, 5 drops of 136 targets, bro. Come on, bro.
Again, I'm not talking about through the regular season because I didn't watch.
That's what we was talking about. I
was talking about in the conference, the games in which I seen the playoffs. I don't watch Devontae Smith, and now what I did say is I don't understand how he won the Heisman that year, in which I'm looking up to see who he was up against that year in the Heisman. He was up against Trevor Lawrence, Devontae Smith, Mac Jones, and Kyle Trask.
Okay.
But go ahead.
3 quarterbacks. 3 quarterbacks.
He had 98 catches for 1,500 yards and 17 touchdowns. Terrence Lawrence was 69% completion with 2,700 yards passing, 22 TDs and 4 interceptions with 7 TD runs. Kyle Trask was 69% completion with 4,125 yards, 43 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and 3 TD runs. And Mac Jones was 76% with 3,739 passing yards, 32 TDs, passes, 4 interceptions, and 1 touchdown. How did he win the Heisman?
I'm about to tell you. Where's
you know how? You know how?
I'm gonna tell you how.
Because he went to Alabama. That's
that part. That part. He's in the SEC. He's in the SEC.
So is Kyle Trask.
Kyle Trask was in Georgia?
Florida.
Florida ain't in the SEC. Florida who? The Gators?
Florida Gators. They're in the SEC. Yeah, so Florida Gators. Mac Jones would play for Mac Jones is in Alabama.
But that was
Mac Jones, Alabama, Devontae, Alabama. ACC was Trevor Trask.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence was ACC and Trask was SEC. So that's how. So, but okay, I got it. Okay, but yes, so I was speaking about him in the championships in which what I saw, in which I watched, in which the balls in which he dropped during that time frame. But okay, he's proficient in catching. He's this era's Mike Thomas.
So back to Anthony Price's comment. Yes, AJ Brown was brought in because to build Jalen Hurts' confidence and give him a premier receiver outside of Devontae Smith.
Did you check out the game, the combine yesterday?
No, I didn't. Did you?
Not really, but I did get a chance to. Well, I caught parts of it because I was waiting for our intramural. We had the intramural championship last night, so I was waiting to do that. So while I was doing that, I decided I put it on the phone, and I saw Pitt's what's the defensive tackle? He ran I think a 4.6.
4.6, yeah. He ran.
But
I saw that on ESPN. Yeah.
But of course, you've seen my man from Georgia ran a 4.3 from the linebacker / defensive tackle from Georgia. Yeah. What do you say, Bishop, to seeing that type of speed from those positions?
Scary.
Those are the players. Nolan Smith, yes. Nolan Smith out of Georgia.
Smith out of Georgia, yeah.
4.3. It was initially was a 4.4, but official time was a 4.39. He outran the likes of people in which we talk about.
When we was talking about the other day, remember when we was talking about the other day how some running backs come in the league and they look like they not fast because they look fast in NCAA, but come in the NFL they don't look as fast anymore. That's why when you got a Nolan Smith, a DT running a 4.3, that's why. When you got a DT who's over 200 and something pounds,
he's chasing down Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts with no problem.
He's chasing down pretty much. He could probably chase down Lamar at a 4.39.
Yeah, he outran Saquon and he basically outran Saquon and CMC.
That's that part.
Chasing down Saquon Barkley from the back
without question, bro. That's why when we said the other day in regards to running backs don't look like they as fast as it, because when you have these elite players who's running crazy 40 times with that much weight, everybody looks slow. Because you thinking, how did he catch you? Well, because he runs a 4.3, sir. I ran a 4.4. He runs a 4.3. He's bigger than me and he still outruns me. That's why.
You get that body motion, that weight shifting in the certain
and that momentum.
Yes,
boy,
momentum. Mm-hmm.
It's a council Christmas, bro. He hits you, he's laying you out at a DT, and that's crazy, man. That's freakish. That's freakish, for real. That's very freakish.
And then you got a 285-pound coming off at 4.7, like these.
Yeah, there was an offensive tackle that ran he was 285, ran a 4.7.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a 4.7, bruh.
Like you said, probably
almost 300 pounds. Are you serious? That's a lot of movement of body to move that fast, bro. To gain up to get that up to speed like that, that's a lot, bro. That's a lot. I'm telling you, that's a lot. It's just that's just freakish nature, man. Some of these guys just.
Of course, today, day 2.
Today's day 2.
The DBs, place kickers, and special team players today. Over the course, I won't see us on Saturday and Sunday, but Saturday you get to see quarterbacks, receivers, and tight ends. So, but we'll talk about it on Friday, and then of course on Sunday, offensive linemen and running backs. Who, like we talked about before, the running backs are starting to diminish as a premium. Key people, what you look at, Jalen Carter. If you've been tracking the situation, Jalen Carter had a warrant for his arrest. He went and checked in and bailed out, and then
checked that at like 10 something that night, and then got released at. I think he got checked in at 10:35 that night and got released at like he made bond at like 10:45.
And came back, went back,
and made back to the mill combine.
Yeah, so I guess more is to be seen on that output. Will Anderson, I don't think we've seen him. Bijan Robinson, we just said running backs when they do it. So
a lot of people are asking about what's the quarterback?
Saying that Bryce Young is too small.
Bryce Young, they're answering, and a lot of them are asking questions about his smallness because they have him listed at 6 feet, which we all know that's not true, not fully accurate. They always boost it up a half an inch or so. I don't know why they do that, but they do. But they got him listed at 6 feet. And they've been questioning him about his size. He says he's around the 200-pound range. Yeah, we already know Bryce Young. Yeah, we already know Bryce ain't throwing. They already said that he's waiting on pro day to throw. We had a whole discussion about that the other day.
Mm-hmm.
But we've seen small quarterbacks before, bro. So I don't know why such a like Kyler Murray's small. Kyler Murray's not 6 feet.
Well, he's short in stature, but he's kind of thick.
Yeah, but he's still short. He's still short.
He's small. Drew Brees, like those
Drew Brees,
small quarterbacks.
Baker Mayfield. Who else? We all know about the infamous, the great came out of what's his name? The Hail Mary thrower for was it Boston College?
Oh, Doug Flutie.
Like we've had some small QBs in the league that's been successful. Drew Brees being one of the main ones. I don't know why it's such a huge concern. If you're able to make the passes and do all of that, a lot of eyes gonna be on him at the combine. Oh, not Bryce Young. I mean, Bryce. No, he ain't gonna. He's not throwing though. That's right, Bryce Young. I'm thinking you saying C.J. Stroud, but yeah, Bryce Young isn't throwing. That's right. But he's probably gonna try and show his speed. He's definitely gonna try and show his speed. I'm sure he's probably gonna do the 40. He want to show how fast he can run.
Yeah, but he's still short.
Can't be short and underweight. How much do y'all really think Kyler Murray weighs, man? Y'all think he's that thick?
I mean, not thick like that, but he's because he's short. I guess it's compound because he's short. I mean,
he's short, but Kyler Murray's. I don't 207. He's 5'10.
Yeah,
207. He's 207 right now, though.
Yeah, he's that's a running back.
Yeah, he's 5'10 right now, though. I mean, he's 207 right now, though. That's what he weighs right now. Like when he came out 3 years ago, he didn't probably weigh no 207. He was probably under 200. Easy. Under 200. He probably maybe 195. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say when I seen him, he was like one. When I seen he did the I want to say he was like 195. And Bryce Young is saying Bryce is. I think Bryce is a little taller than him. I don't think Bryce is 5'10. They got him. I don't think Bryce is 5'10. I think they listed him at 6 feet. So Bryce is a little taller than him.
I guess like you saying, Dylan, it's like every so often we get the whole someone that is viewed or seen as being the next great or something similar to someone that had a great season. So with the Anthony Richardson, you know what? I would tell them
Anthony Richardson. Which one is that?
From Florida.
Okay. Yeah.
From Florida.
But I'm gonna tell you, boy out of Tennessee is
talk about what's his name? Is it Hendon? Is that Hooker Hendon? No,
Hendon.
not Hendon.
Hooker Hendon. Hendon. Yeah. If his injury don't set him back, I'm telling y'all, bro. I'm cool off y'all. And we learned about I need that part, Dylan. That part.
Anthony is going to be like Jalen Hurts style QB.
We gonna see. So
Bishop, I'd like to correct myself. I sit up and thought about it. Lamar Jackson is a free agent. They're trying to. The expectation is that they're going to franchise tag him to try to hold
he was still on his rookie contract. He hadn't came off his rookie. Yeah, that's what I thought.
That was his rookie. The last year was his
rookie contract. Right,
because he basically the same. Because him and Daniel Jones is in the same boat.
Right, absolutely.
So top Geno Smith is another free agent. He
is. That's one you missed. Yeah, you didn't say Geno.
But I guess the expectations that Seattle's going to sign him. Javon Hargrave, y'all man's free agent.
Yeah, he's a free agent. Yeah, Bradbury, free agent.
Orlando Brown, Daniel Jones, Derek Carr, free agent. Yeah, CJ Gardner, free agent.
I know.
Mm-hmm. I know. Bradbury, Jesse Bates, Saquon Barkley. So it's a lot. Those are just the top 10. And then you got Darian Payne, Michael McGlinchey from San Francisco, Drayton Jones, Zach Allen, Odell Beckham still in there as a top free agent.
Yeah, he free agent.
You think that's?
I don't know, man. Odell, he ain't played in a while.
A year and a half. A year. Yeah. Well, actually, a year.
A whole full year, pretty much. Yeah. But he ain't played in a while. I'm a bit. I don't know. I'm sure somebody will give him a workout for sure. I'm sure somebody gonna give him a workout.
Would you want him in Philly?
No,
not
what we have right now. No, I don't. I feel like.
So I feel like that would be a hindrance. You saying Quez is better than?
I'm not saying he's better. No, I'm not saying he's better than Quez. I'm not saying Quez Watkins is better than OBJ or vice versa. But because of OBJ's injury and things of that nature, he just doesn't fit our scheme right now. We can't share the ball enough for him in Philadelphia. We can't share the ball enough. It's bad enough we barely get in the ball enough to Smith and AJ. You know, AJ had a few games toward the end that he was like, man, he wanted more touches. So to bring in OBJ, No, that was just not it. We talking about AJ Smith and Dallas Goedert, not including our running backs coming out the backfield, which a lot of people, I think Key said earlier that they talking about Miles Sanders may be gone.
Yeah,
leaving
That's the expectation.
But
Where
if
I
that's
mean,
the
but you
case,
got people like Josh Jacobs. He's out there. He's
yeah,
a
but
free
I
agent.
would rather have Bijan if we're gonna pick up
Y'all is
somebody.
not getting Bijan. Bijan's not gonna make it to y'all.
You
What y'all gonna
crazy?
trade? Y'all gonna trade back up to get Bijan?
No, we go. If you look at the draft board, Bijan is a good chance to be there at 10. Look at the draft board.
Who's the top before we get up out of here?
Yeah,
What's the
look at the
draft
draft board.
order?
The draft board. I'm finna tell you, Bijan is oh my gosh, what do I do?
Adam Henry, wide receiver coach, one of the OBJ's best friends, and his wide receiver coach in Cleveland. Definitely speaks volumes. Yeah, looks like a play to get some help to Diggs, which potentially means that what's his name's out the door again. Cole Beasley, Chicago at 1, Houston at 2, Arizona at 3. That's a potential. That 4, Indianapolis, Denver. No, is that Seattle? No, Denver. Or is that Seattle? I think Seattle at 5. Oh, let me see.
Remember, I told you earlier, some people had Bijan not even coming off the board until pick 25. Where was it at? 27. They had Bijan on this on PFF. They had him coming off the board at 27.
Indianapolis Colts, so they don't need one. Seattle don't need one. Detroit might take a flyer on him. Arizona might take a flyer. Did Arizona just sign? What's his name?
Arizona still got old boy. What's his name?
Depending on what Las Vegas does with Jacobs, that's another one. Atlanta needs. I don't know if they need a running back more, but Atlanta
they need a quarterback first. They need a quarterback first. They gonna pick a quarter. They gotta need a quarterback before they get a running back.
Carolina needs a quarterback. I mean, a running back, but we need some more. Philly, I don't know. So I guess so. But like Dylan said, the teams running backs aren't high priority anymore. Yeah, especially one that's just a power back.
Yeah. But see, this is the thing, right? I feel what Dylan is saying, but I feel like we would be good with getting a running back because that would be a key area in which we losing if we lose Miles Sanders. That's why I feel like that's a good spot for us.
Oh no! Keep that same injury, Boston and Gainwell. Let's keep that same energy.
What energy? I never said Boston is a third down back, if anything, and he's short yardage back. Kenneth Gainwell, I told you I never liked him in the backfield. I never liked Kenneth Gainwell in the backfield. I prefer him. I never wanted him in the backfield. They trying to use him like Debo. No. We need a two back. Y'all done converted Kenneth Gainwell from a wide receiver to a running back, just like a Debo type thing. No, I don't like it. I do not. I've never liked that. Boston Scott is definitely not the dude. Howie don't prioritize running back like that, and they love Kenny G. I get it. I do. I know they do love Kenneth Gainwell, but he's not that dude, man. He has no power. Yes, he runs hard, and yes, he can get he has the speed, but he has no. He's light in the ass, bro. He's so light. Did you see him get popped in? I think
so. You just is it that you just don't like? You just don't like Gainwell as a running back, or you just don't?
I don't like him as a
wide receiver to running back. Transition.
I don't like either one. Yeah, I don't like either one. Kenneth Gainwell is too light.
I think I can give you one name that you might change the thought on that process. It's not Debo, because Debo is not a running back. He just gets used as a running back. Right. But what would you say when I say Cordell Patterson?
What about him? He's bigger. He's way bigger than Kenneth Gainwell.
I mean, it's true enough, but he's a wide receiver that has basically extended his convert. Right. He's a convert he's very
but you can convert him though. But we're talking. This dude is way bigger than Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell is like the size. He's like the size of Kenneth Gainwell ain't bigger than Jalen. He probably ain't even bigger than Miles Sanders, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie. Kenneth Gainwell is not that big, bro. He's not that big. Kenneth Gainwell, I'll be surprised if he's 200 pounds. Oh, 5'9", 201. 5'9", 201. And then you said Cordell Patterson? I'm going to tell you. Kenneth Gainwell, 5'9", 201. 6'2", 220. Ain't even a comparison. Not even close. Not even close. That's 6'2", 220. That's my size now. I got probably 15 more pounds or 20 more pounds on Patterson, but yeah, that's my size. That's back size. That's nice. You could do that. Like linebackers ain't he ain't getting popped by a linebacker and getting knocked 15 yards back. Nah, you're gonna have to hit him. You're gonna have to hit Patterson. Dealing with our late first is really possible, though. I think Miles is gone for sure. If I had to predict something, I'd say Philly rise with Kenny G and sign David Montgomery on a 1 year.
That's the second person who said something about David Montgomery. Who's a serviceable back? David Montgomery is no slouch.
Yeah, David Montgomery ain't bad. He's not. But I don't. This is the thing. I just heard the other day in regards to Miles Sanders saying he wanted to stay in Philly. And I don't understand why we would choose to even allow him to leave. I mean, I'm sure it's probably money aspects, but
I was about to say, I would say that too. Regardless, how many people do you hear that say, "I want to go, I'm good"?
Everyone you get some that don't say anything when it comes to stuff like that. But no, he tweeted, "I love it here in Philly." Like he said, "I love it here in Philly. I want to stay." Like
who else said something like that?
Who?
Kyrie Irving, and we know
he
where
he
is
at. In Brooklyn. He did not say that.
He did want to stay in Brooklyn. He said that about Boston. He said that
he
about
didn't say
Brooklyn.
I love it. He want to stay for sure, but how are we going to disrespect him on the bag and burn that bridge? I know. I feel you on that, Dylan. I feel you on that. Straight 100. So I straight feel you that on 100.
So, of course, y'all know that's our time for today. We greatly appreciate y'all rocking with us. Always a great grand gesture to be chilling with y'all, having at you. Appreciate Dylan Beats coming through. All our other personnel, Anthony Price, Key, we hadn't seen you in a little bit. Zach,
right. Freddie, Dylan, thank you.
Freddie, everyone coming through. Always a pleasure, of course. Like you said, we got more coming up, more in the conversation. Brandon, appreciate it. Coach Cal, fast early in it. So of course, like I said, for those who out there in the military, basketball arena, I think we got a couple more things coming up. We working on something to get some people, have some more people come on. Like it's a whole talking about and speaking to the culture and getting the people's opinions and stuff like that. I think it's been some good talks and everything. Like I said before, not to bash. We're not looking to bash anybody. We're just talking about the state of a community, or saying that's out there in the military basketball arena. Be sure if you get a chance, check out the National Military Basketball Tournaments page. You can see where they got the rankings in which they put out. Remember the top 16 over the 16 best teams to the choice of their committee gets a buy-in to the tournament, which is at the end of next month. So just a few weeks before they start doing their selections, in which they start tapping in on those teams. Of course, you got the Military Basketball Association. Also, they're getting closer and closer to their end of their season. Also, so it's a whole vibe. Check it out. And be sure to check us out. Go and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and catch a vibe all the time. We greatly appreciate y'all. Bishop, any last word before we get out here, brother?
Man, y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Be safe. Make sure that y'all check us out Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for you civilian personnel. That's 9 to 11, 09 to 1100. Hey, y'all be safe. Love on your loved ones, man. Thank somebody. Enjoy your weekend. And we appreciate each and every one of y'all. Without y'all, there is no First Formation. And we'll see y'all on Monday, man. Y'all be safe. And we'll holler back at y'all. Y'all be easy. Cyro 5 Military Fraternity Incorporated. We'll holler at y'all. Peace.